I love Lois Lane. Ever since I was a kid, I love Lois Lane. I'm talking about Erica Durance, Amy Adams, Bitsy Tulloch, and especially Dana Delaney.
Could have come, you know.
Whenever Superman's adapted, one of the great excitements is seeing the actors bring Lois and Clark's bickering and romance to life, while looking so beautiful that my fucking eyes burn. But the point of this video isn't to learn about my creepiness, but to understand Lois Lane's importance. She's Superman's heart, the element that keeps him human. Not just in the sense that we see a handsome alien man being able to attract a beautiful woman, but she's the element that keeps him humble. He's a god that lives like a man, who has to fight for the attention of the woman he loves, who doesn't entirely pay attention to him. As Grant Morrison argued, Hercules was always Hercules. Agamemnon and Perseus were heroes from the moment they leapt out of bed in the morning until the end of a long battle-crazed day. But Superman was secretly someone else. Clark was the soul, the transcendent element in the Superman equation. Clark is what made him endure. Although it's become quite commonplace to avoid the Superman, Lois Lane and Clark Kent love triangle nowadays. Man of Steel avoided it.
What are you doing here? Let me tell your story.
In Superman and Lois, it's only present in a flashback episode, and even then they flip the dynamic.
That's okay. He's a lucky man.
On one hand, I actually personally prefer this change, because it preserves Lois Lane's integrity, making her immediately less shallow, and we're not delaying the inevitable payoff for fucking years for no reason. But on the other hand, there is an inherent funness that you end up missing when you take away the play of secrets. And like most things in life, the DCAU version is the best example for making that work.
Well, Lois, the truth is I'm actually Superman in disguise, and I only pretend to be a journalist in order to hear about disasters as they happen and then squeeze you out of the byline.
You're a sick man, Kent.
The DCAU version of Lois and Clark are fucking hysterical because instead of having her love Superman while Clark pines for her, they're rivals now.
Is he cute?
When we're first introduced to her, she doesn't believe in Superman, gets jealous that the front page news is given to him and is written by a new guy, while she spent ages on the real story.
Chief, I spent a week on the docks with rats and frizzed hair exposing the biggest gun smuggling ring to hit this town in 10 years, and what makes the front page? Some sprouty, new-age, granola-crunching fluff piece on angels.
She's then irritatingly paired with him and leaves him. However, Clark then catches up with a pun.
How'd you get here so fast?
Oh, I just flew.
What'd you get?
A shared byline, if you use it.
This moment, this right here is why I love her and this whole pairing. She's a skeptical, witty, and cynical person who has very little patience, while Clark is a genuinely talented and invested reporter that's witty with a real big sense of humor. So their partnership is built around them ribbing each other and competing with one another.
You can clear Walker? What? How?
Sorry, Lois. I gotta make a quick trip to the governor. You can read all about it in the afternoon edition.
However, underneath the fun is also a story about a journey where her cynicism fades away and she learns to believe.
Nice S.
Excuse me?
Right here. He's strong, he flies, he's the Nietzschean fantasy ideal all wrapped up in a red cape. The Superman.
Superman?
When Clark had to fake his death, she confessed that she really liked him.
And I liked him too, I really did. Wish I'd told him.
She eventually falls in love with Bruce Wayne. But then she dumps his ass because she's disturbed by his secrets, and also Bruce is clearly in love with Clark. Lois sees a world where if she died, Superman would have fallen apart, turned bad.
You never knew how I felt about you. I never knew. Till you were gone.
And in the end, when Superman was brainwashed by Darkseid and attacked the world, she enlisted her father's help so she can break him out. And it's the one who gives him the confidence to endure a skeptical and distrusting world.
If I can't trust myself, how can I win back the trust of an entire planet?
One person at a time.
So from having those very features to railing against it, we really got to subtly watch her change into someone completely different. Someone who speaks such sincere words that they really wouldn't have been spoken of back in the day. And it's from this transformation where she got exposed and experienced constant danger with the constant comfort of someone always being there for her, that she believes. Lois Lane next to Batman is the moral anchor of DCAU Superman's sense of trust with himself and his own belief in what's right and wrong. They are both mirrors for the man he is, while also are there to warn him of what he might drift into. Superman still does look kinda bad when you step back and realize as they're shacking up, he still doesn't tell her. The original ending of Justice League Unlimited Season 2 was supposed to be him revealing it, but they didn't do it in the end. So instead, Clark simply just has a bit of banter, as Lois says Superman is only human.
How many L's in ambivalent?
1. Is that your take on all this, Lois?
I've been as tough on the Justice League as anyone, especially on Superman. That's just because he's always set such a high standard. I'm gonna cut him a break. He's only human. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
I wish we got in the reveal in order to round out the whole story and not have a loose thread, but in a weird, strange way, it's kinda sweet and oddly perfect as a little ending. Lois still ribbing Superman, and Clark still smiling. He feels appreciated, accepted, and more importantly, human. They both get to enjoy a moment of blissful innocence where Lois, not knowing they're one and the same, gives the opportunity for Clark and Superman to always be surrounded by an honest opinion of the other. And Lois gets to continue to grow in her own rate, in her own way.
Someday that would be nice to see her when I wasn't about to be killed.
Someday.
Their banter and rivalry wasn't just about being good at their job, but being the best person. I'd argue one of the reasons what makes Superman so appealing comes from this gentle little moment here. You can have all the power in the world, but if you can't feel the joy of something as simple and small as someone you love ribbing you, or the stress of not helping enough people, then those powers, they become empty. You wouldn't get to live or feel life with any relativity to the small joys that we all live with right now, that we all take for granted. I'd argue it's Lois Lane that makes Superman appealing. So that was the Lois Lane video. I think I want to make a part 2 where I go through every single adaptation of the character and sort of try and figure out what kind of connects with them, their differences and their major similarities. But anyways, I hope you like this one, and special thanks to everyone on Patreon. You guys rock. Especially now that Virgin Media is charging me an additional £5 for my internet.
Ew.
You're getting sloppy, Smallville. This sentence is loaded with typos.